Hello Year 5 and 6, welcome to Thursday's reading tutorial. Today we are going to be, better just move myself slightly actually because that's going to be right where the Walt appears in a moment. We are looking at considering audience and purpose for our writing, and as you know from the original email with all your tasks, the task you're doing today is rewriting a passage of a text for a different audience. So let's get into our tutorial. When we are rewriting a piece of text, it's really important for a different purpose or a different audience. It's really important that we firstly identify who the current audience and what the current purpose is of the text. In this case, the most important thing to think about is what age range do you think would enjoy and would engage with this text? In this case, the Nowhere Emporium is written for sort of children between the ages of 9 and 13. And the key thing that shows us that is the vocabulary that's being used. You get words and phrases like cracked open a fraction, not really the sort of thing that children of 5, 6, even 7 are going to particularly understand what that expression means. And again, words like cozy, unlikely to be a word that they're overly familiar with if they're too much younger. Arched wooden roof, babbling whisper of running water. So it's also shown through the content as well, what's actually going on in the story. That's harder to show, so I'm not going to circle any bits for you on that. But some bits to think about if you've been following the story of the Nowhere Emporium on YouTube. There's a bit of mild threat in there. The idea that Daniel nearly got hit by a car whilst being chased by an unpleasant bullying child who was threatening to hurt him. There's that little bit of mild threat that's more suitable for a slightly older audience, more sort of the, like I say, the 9 to sort of 13 age range. We've then got those emotional, maybe arguably even slightly upsetting scenes. We've got children being bullied and descriptions of children who've lost parents and carers who now are in orphanages. All of that's quite an upsetting concept for younger children, but is something that a more mature, slightly older set of children can cope with and can deal with and understand and gain more input into Daniel as a character by reading that. So all of these things, like it says there, they require a more mature audience than you'd get from younger children. Now that we've identified an age range that the text is currently aimed at, we now need to think about what age range we'd like to amend the text to suit. In this case, I'm going to go for a younger age group. So I'm going to think about those things that we just talked about that make it suitable for 9 to 13-year-olds. The vocabulary, the content, and I'm going to try and change that so that it would be suitable for younger children. In this case, the easiest thing to change without rewriting the entire story would be the vocabulary. So if we look back at this paragraph here that I've circled on your screen for you, or squared, I suppose, or rectangled on your screen for you, that's what I'm going to try and rewrite. So at the moment, it reads, he lay in a small, comfortable bed in a cozy room with an arched wooden roof. At the opposite end of the room were 2 doors, one of which was open. Through the open door, Daniel could hear the sound of birdsong and the babbling whisper of running water. He shuffled to the edge of the bed, swung his legs from beneath the thick duvet. His bare feet sank into a deep carpet. And what I've done is I've taken key bits. So it opens with the pronoun he. I've changed that to Daniel because in a younger audience, it can be quite useful sometimes to keep reminding them with more repetition of who exactly it is, which character exactly it is that you're talking about when there is more than one. So Daniel lay in a small, comfortable bed in a warm, I've changed the words cozy because I think children that are a bit younger will be more familiar with warm room with a high wooden roof. I've not said arched because I think, again, that's probably a word that they might be more unfamiliar with, whereas high, they'll be perfectly comfortable with. Rather than saying at the opposite end of the room, I've said in front of him, so I've changed that vocabulary again to make it more suitable, were 2 doors. One of the doors was open, so I've not gone with the comma and one of which is open. You find that if you have too many clauses in multi-clause sentences, younger children can struggle with that, so that's another way of making it more suitable to a younger audience. Daniel could hear the sound of birds singing and water trickling, so rather than bird song and babbling whisper, I've gone with birds singing and water trickling. And then rather than saying he shuffled to the edge of the bed, I just put he moved down the bed and stood up, and then kept the last sentence the same. So that's how I've rewritten one paragraph. And that's your task for today. I'd like to choose a section from either the Nowhere Emporium, if that's what you're choosing to use. And remember, you can just pause these videos on whatever chapters, whatever pages that you want on the screens. You can go back to previous chapters that I've done, do the same with that. Or the book that you're reading, the text that you're reading at home. I'd like you to choose a section. That might be a paragraph, it might be a page. If you're feeling really sort of wanting to impress and you want to get yourself on that Friday feedback show, and then I'd like you to have a go at rewriting that for a different audience, please. If you can, on your piece of paper or whatever it is you're writing on or typing on, can you put who the audience was originally, in your opinion, and then who the audience is now that you've rewritten it? And then I can see whether or not I agree, whether I think you've adapted the writing in the right way to suit your new audience. Best of luck with that. As ever, any problems, let me know, and any completed work at the end, please send through to your teachers or straight to me. Either way, I'll get hold of it, and then I can feedback anything I need to feedback for you. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.